Okay, so today we are gonna make the Zootopia 2 video because I watched the movie. Yeah. Cool. Let's do it. So, let's see. What can I say about this movie? Honestly, for a sequel, it is. Yeah, for a sequel, I actually really liked it. Like I liked that it was more intense, that it was kind of like almost kind of like I want to say it. Almost kind of like what's the word? Yeah, kind of almost like mafia based, and almost the theory of like don't really trust your leaders type of thing, because like even the people that are supposed to be kind of helping you are actually not at all helping and are just covering more of the truth. So it's kind of cool. It's like there's definitely a lot of issues and things that were very much like real, and I feel like kind of correlates with today's society. So yeah, so it was a really cool kind of showmanship of like it's animated, but you can still make a good story even if it's animation. So I really like that. And I really like that the storyline was very much like I could see a lot of real parallels to it, real world parallels. So yeah, obviously the main point of this story, or the main point of this video, is to just kind of like talk about more of the characters. And so the main two characters, that's kind of what I'm going to be more like focusing on, is Judy, and then I can't remember the fox's name, but him too, but mainly Judy, because it's mainly her story and he's just more like sidekicking in a way. So Judy, oh my gosh, oh, I can't relate with her. No, yeah, definitely Judy is very much a perfectionist, and dude, I loved like that confession scene. That was so that was so real, but in so much of their characters, you know? Because like a rabbit's very, very quick and very fast, so like she was almost kind of like word vomiting. And the fox, he was just like being very slow and intentional. Anyway, very cool, very cool. But yeah, so I did love that. That was like actually kind of iconic. But anyway, yeah, no, she's very much a perfectionist, like she says in the confessional too. She's very much a perfectionist. She thinks like, and like with her character, and I mean even in the first movie too, which I'll brief on the first movie, but I just want to more talk about the second movie, because they're both pretty much like similar parallels. Like they're both talking about like, you know, like a quote unquote loserish character kind of getting into their prime, you know? And so with the first movie, and like again, it correlates together. Obviously they're within one like world, but the first movie was definitely more talking about like her story, and like how she was in the bottom, or considered on the bottom, and because she's also a rabbit, like people just have a lot of like assumptions of rabbits, and you know, like basically calling her a dumb bunny. And almost you can almost think of it as like, because I'm a blonde, or like a dirty blonde, so for me I almost think of it as like being a blondie sometimes, like, you know, being a dumb blonde. It's almost kind of like a correlation with that, like trying to prove to herself and to the world that she is more than enough, that she is capable of everything that she can do, that she can be excellent in everything that she can do. And so when people don't see that, she takes like a lot of offense to, which I can relate. I can definitely relate. And like she feels like she has to do everything herself. And then whenever Nick, his name's Nick. I remember. Whenever she meets Nick, obviously that character type changes. And so, and through the first movie, she was just kind of learning how to kind of like, well, she was learning more about herself and then kind of learning about him. And then in the second movie, it's very much talking about like their relationship and how they can piggyback off of each other. And like, obviously compared to the other teams, they're definitely a better team, but you can definitely tell that like, yeah, like her like tapping her foot, which is, I actually do have a rabbit, so like this is actually very true. Like they do stomp their feet like if they're angry, or like they do fidget a lot like when they do things. Like it's a very much a rabbit mentality, and honestly just like an anxiety mentality too. Like it all really correlates with each other. And so like, yeah, like you can tell like she's the very much like the anxious kind of like got it all together, perfectionist type of mentality, while Nick is very much like, and it kind of shows more in the first movie where, yeah, because he was alone for most of his life, and he's been just kind of considered the outcast as well, but in like a different sense. Like he's more considered like, oh, like what is he gonna do? Like is he bad? Like like very misunderstood, and because of that he landed up in areas that were like more deceitful, and that was like crime based. And so just like having these two characters almost like connect with each other, which I love that they, by the way, didn't make this like a romantic relationship. I do really like that, because I feel like we've had so many romantic relationships with like especially male and female characters. So it was really nice to see like almost like a more of a friendship and what that can mean, you know? Yeah. And yeah, and like you can definitely tell like he's super caring, and it's because yeah, he finally found something that he can finally be cared to care about. And honestly, like while I was recording this, before this recording, I was actually talking to one of my Bible study leaders, and we were talking about like how truly as people we really don't live for ourselves. We are kind of designed to live for greater, and so that's also kind of showing here. And you don't have to be religious to even believe that. I feel like anyone, even if you're non-religious, can definitely relate with that feeling. But it's like, yeah, this movie definitely shows like how much of a purposefulness we as humans desire to live for, and like how, yeah, almost like living for yourself is just so, yeah, it's almost fruitless a little bit if you live for yourself. And so yeah, so it's definitely, yeah, I got into a very deep tangent, but you know what I mean. Like it's, yeah, like this movie really just shows like how much teamwork, how much friendship, even if it is romantic or platonic, how much that truly does matter in the long term of things, like family, unity, friendship, you know, interactions, first impressions, all of that is so extremely important, and that we as people and as a society have kind of started to lose touch with. So that's another reason why I do feel like this movie is a great like representation of that. So yeah. I don't know really what else to say. I've been also kind of dealing with that myself, honestly. So yeah, so I could definitely see it a lot in the characters, and I think anyone can relate with this movie and like with the messaging of this movie, like even though it is like, like a mafia kind of thing, which the first movie kind of had those vibes too, like a mafia vibe. It's not really talking about that. It's more talking to an extreme extent, but it is talking about more of the fact of like, you know, as a unit, how can we grow together? You know, like as a unit, how do we get to a more healthy and fruitful state? Because I feel like we always have that idea, but we never truly know what that actually means. And I feel like just the interpretation of things have definitely just lost meaning a little bit. And again, it's because of how the society works, you know, it's just kind of how things work now. But yeah, and just like very much, yeah, like I do feel like the meaning of unity and the meaning of, yeah, just the meaning of anything. I do feel like it's just getting a bit lost nowadays. And it is because of just how fast paced everything is and how, yeah, like it's just, I don't know, life is so much that, and so much that you have to prove, even that it just, yeah, that it just does feel like you're almost losing time every time you just sit down for 1 minute. You know, like it's like sitting down at this point is like a crime. I feel like with just how things are moving and how things are speeding up, you know. And so yeah, so I do definitely feel like this movie, and again, like Judy and Nick, they're just, yeah, they're great representations of like how it is to be in this type of society and how grueling it can be, because like, you know, we we are defined by our environment. We are defined by where we're from. Like that is who we are as people, is where we come from. Like that is our background. That is what makes us who we are. Doesn't mean we can change it. Yeah, of course we can change it. Like we can change how we think. But at the core of who we are, that's our process. That's how we think. That's how we do things. And so it's just kind of showing that in a more like animated form. And so yeah, so again, the first movie was really, really good. The second movie was incredible. Like, I mean, I liked also Inside Out as well. I think, you know, Inside Out and Inside Out 2 was really good for sure. It was like very psychological and all that. And like some of the other movies that were brought up were really good, but this movie, like, yeah, like this really talks about and just truly intensifies the feeling of like, wow, what are we doing? Why are we doing all of this to begin with, and how do we fix it? You know, yeah, and it's animated, which is the crazy part. But that just shows that you can make good stories and make it animated or be anime. Like it's a thing. So, yeah. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah. No, I really, really like this movie, and also there's no noise. Yes. So yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you liked my little tangent about Zootopia 2 and Zootopia 1 and just that whole series. Yeah. Okay. Well, I will see you guys later. Bye.